And so your colonies declared independence in the time of King George III. That's right. No American Revolution. No Continental Congress. Instead, they have a country named Atlanta, after the ocean, and it's part of the British Commonwealth. But the river is still the Mississippi. Was it the same King George that we had? It would seem so. Perhaps this is where our worlds diverged. That depends. Have you ever heard of Shakespeare? What's that? Okay then, your world is a lot different from ours. Once he heard that Nathaniel and the others might actually believe his story, Bradley was eager to help. He doesn't even seem to hold a grudge for being locked up overnight. Of course, Nathaniel is not returning Bradley's weapon. I don't know what happened to it. They didn't tell me, which is reasonable. What would you recommend as a good world history text? It would be interesting to see what else... Don't get distracted, Janet. If this is another world, learning its history won't solve our problems. Which are? How did we get here? What happened to the other people who disappeared? And how do we get home? All very good questions. You. Please, we should not be enemies. Perhaps not. However, I should inform you that the entrance to my laboratory is locked and trapped with a variety of interesting measures. Therefore, if you are here to engage in industrial espionage, you would be advised to reconsider, unless you enjoy excruciating pain. In which case, we might be able to devise something more entertaining to do together. You freak. Is this all part of some scheme of yours after all? You may fool them, but you don't fool me. Bradley, stop it. We need his help. He doesn't want to help us. On the contrary, if you have discovered a method of extra-universal travel, I am eager to learn about it. Where's Alben? He still believes that these two are either deranged or unfriendly agents or both. But you've changed your mind. That's my prerogative. Okay, so what do we know? We've jumped from our world into yours, and this has probably happened to people before. Bradley, you said people were disappearing every 5 years, and the first one was 25 years ago, right? The first one I could find in the papers. Not every missing person gets news coverage, and it's not always easy to know where someone disappeared from. There could be more. Of course. Why would anything be simple? But did they all come here? Susan said that she saw a large house with lights in the windows, but that's not much of a description. I thought it was this house, but I can't be sure. Susan was your sister? Susan is my sister. She's out there. Somewhere. Well, what does she look like? In case someone saw her here. Taller than you. About 5'9". Brown hair down past her shoulders with bright purple streaks. Hazel eyes. She had 3 piercings in one ear, 1 in the other. The night she went out 5 years ago, she was in a little black dress and a red leather jacket, and her old blue backpack. She'd been out to a party. She was coming back. Her car broke down. She went to the house for help. She was only 20. I'm sorry. If someone like that had knocked on our door, I think I would remember. I didn't live in this province 5 years ago. Neither did Raphael. You might ask Alben. A girl like that, if she'd come to this city, could have ended up running with his friends. What do you mean, a girl like that? Now, don't rush to judgment. I have very fond memories of that kind of girl. You slimy son of a... Quiet! Bradley, he always talks like that. Don't rise to it. Linz, please remember that this young man does not know if his sister is alive or well. Please, be gentle with him. My point was only that she sounds like a young woman who prefers entertainment to study. It doesn't matter anyway. Susan was going to the house that she saw. If she was never here, if she was thrown into some other universe, there is always hope. She could have arrived at a time when I was away from home. When Lynn's experiment is complete and the force field gone, we can contact... Lynn's glares at Nathaniel, but I'm distracted as the weight of the matter suddenly settles on my shoulders. We're in another universe. Different history, different science, different people. when that force field goes away, we'll still be in another universe. We're not trapped for 3 days. We're trapped forever. Oops. My head spins. Linz is speaking, but I can't hear him. Oddly enough, it's his presence that gives me focus. The last time I panicked, he knocked me out. I don't want him to do it again. I have to think positively. Wait, someone's talking to me.
Janet, are you alright?
I'm okay. I'm just thinking about our problems, like you said. Your sister has never been able to get home, right? Even if we find her, what do we do then? If we're trapped here, how do we live? My school doesn't exist in this universe. How do I get my degree?
Perhaps I could help. We'll find a way out. I got here, didn't I? When everyone said it was impossible. And I didn't even know where I was trying to get to. And now you'll have someone intelligent assisting you.
Bradley glares, but this time he is able to resist Linz's taunting.
However, for the next 3 days, our focus is still here. The procedure must be completed. But some of us enjoy multitasking. We can't afford to lose you to another universe. Naturally.
Nathaniel closes his eyes and takes a deep breath.
Bradley, Janet, you are my guests, and I will do what I can for you, so long as you are respectful to the other members of the house. Please stay out of the basement, and don't disturb Linz when he needs to work. Please respect the privacy of others.
I understand.
Yeah, whatever. I expect you'll be able to find many interesting books here, now that you know where you are. So, if you'll excuse us.
With a polite nod, Nathaniel exits and Linz goes with him. Just our luck that we ended up in a universe of force fields and mad scientists, huh?
Could be worse. Could be dragons. No, really. A rich guy offering us a place to stay while we search, and a crazy scientist helping us get back. That's about the best I could hope for.
So you don't think they're serial killers or ghosts anymore?
I don't know anything for certain, but this explanation makes more sense. The simplest explanation is usually true, right?
The simplest explanation is that this is all one crazy dream.
You don't really think that, do you?
Well, you might have slipped something funny into my food at dinner that night, but probably not. We're standing there smiling at each other and thinking about what a wild, mixed-up world it is, and therefore we don't even hear someone else enter the room. Uh-oh.
Don't think you're getting off that easy. Nathaniel's soft, wants to think everybody's all nicey nice, but I'm not. You're a coward and a liar and a maniac, and I'm not going to forgive what you've done. What about you? You've been hassling us ever since we got here. You punched me in the face. You tried to kill me. If I tried to kill you, you'd be dead.
They look like they're about to come to blows. What should Janet do? The sensible thing, which is jump between them and prove you're a tough chick. There it is. Before this can get any more painfully macho, I rush between them.
Janet!
Knock it off, you two! Nobody cares that you hate each other. We're all stuck in here, so just shut up.
Get out of my way.
Make me.
This is between him and me.
You shut up too. What do you think you're going to accomplish anyway? Knocking each other's teeth out? You'll bleed all over the carpet and you'll still be here. Idiots. Alben is the first to raise his hand in surrender and takes a step back. This could be taken way out of context.
I submit. To Janet. I don't like you. You know that. Point made. Just stay out of my way.
He leaves the library.
Phew. I thought that guy was going to bring me again.
If you didn't want to fight, why were you egging him on? Is this just some stupid guy thing?
You heard him. He wasn't going to let it go, and sorry wouldn't cut it. Some people keep pushing until you push back.
So you have to butt heads. It is a stupid guy thing.
Maybe. Was somebody yelling?
Raphael peers tentatively into the room.
You?
Hi! boy, we have a long story to tell you. You've been gone for ages, my boy. The door is closed, hiding the force field from my view. And now that I've had some time to think about it, I wonder what lies beyond. There's a whole new world out there. Are there trees like our trees? Are the squirrels gray or red or black? Traffic lights, street signs, airplanes. Everything could be foreign. There's 100,000 things I want to see. I think we're at the point where we think about which guy we like the most. But as long as the barrier lasts, this mansion is my entire universe. Me and them. Here it is. Of all the boys, it's Alben that I feel most drawn to. There were sparks between us from the moment we met. He's beautiful. All that pale skin and dark hair and eyes filled with shadows. And he's infuriating, rude, touchy, mysterious. I don't know him, not really. He's a stranger to me. And yet, he feels familiar. I feel like I understand so many things he isn't saying. It's like there's this restless energy coiled up in him all the time. He charges from place to place, never satisfied. He's not happy here. I can't blame him. I don't like being trapped in here either. When those eyes meet mine, I lose my thoughts. I could just stand there, staring. But he always breaks the moment, lashing out at me, at Bradley, at himself. Sometimes he frightens me. There were times that I tensed up, thinking he was about to snap, to strike me, wondering how much it would hurt. But it never happened. Then we think of him smiling. I believe that he's intelligent and insightful and has a wicked sense of humor. But am I just projecting what I want him to be? I don't know him, but I can't stop thinking about him. I've never felt like this before. There's a tragedy locked behind those eyes, I know there is. Like shards of black glass, dangerous and fragile at the same time. Always a bad boy tsundere with a tragic backstory. What ties him to this place? He knows all of them, but he belongs to none of them. He's as much of an outsider as I am. I spent my childhood in a school too small for me to vanish into the crowd. I knew everyone, and I knew what they thought of me. I didn't think it mattered. I was going to show them all, be better than them all. Last year, after all my dreams fell apart, there were a few moments when I hated them. But I don't have that kind of rage in me, not really. I'm not a vengeful person. What the heck happened last year? She keeps referencing it. Ugh. Alben is. Still, even when things were at their worst, with Bradley and his foolish gun waving, Alben didn't really hurt him. He hit him a few times, but he stopped. He makes threats, but he backs down. I want to see him smile. I want to touch that dark place inside of him, even if it burns me. Maybe even because I know it will. Whew, wow, that was deep. That was very deep, Janet. So I found Alben in the study. Curled up in the fireplace with a cigarette and a notebook. Don't move. Eh? I instinctively look around me, trying to figure out why I'm not supposed to move.
Take a few steps back and sit down out of the way.
Okay. He doesn't sound mad at me, not exactly. So I'll do what he says and see what happens. He's scribbling something on that notebook. No, he's sketching! Oh no, he's an artist too, my heart. You're an artist? He stubs out the cigarette inside the fireplace and tears off the sheet he'd been drawing on and crumples it up.
Stand up, over there.
Cool, is he going to draw me? I stand across from his seat in the fireplace and strike a pose.
Not like that. Just stand normally.
Okay. Of course, once you're thinking about the way you're standing, it's hard to do it normally. A pose of nonchalance is still a pose, and takes just as much effort as any other pose. Obviously, what I'm supposed to do is not think about it, but how do I not think about it now that I'm thinking about not thinking about it, you know? You think? Quick, think about something else, like pink elephants. Very wise pink elephants. Wise pink elephants carrying sweets and flowers, dancing in a line along a dirt path.
You're twitching.
Sorry. Alright, no dancing. Something more sedate. A sunrise. That's pretty. But boring to stand and stare at. How long is this going to take? Are you done? Can I look?
Whatever.
Oh my, you drew me with no clothes. How scandalous. Hey, that's pretty good. There's just one thing, though. Why am I naked?
What, you don't like me seeing you naked?
Ha! Draw me like one of your French girls, Alben. He stands up and takes the sketchbook back from me. You have not seen me naked. He shrugs.
If you watch someone move, you know pretty much what their body looks like. Everything fits together the same way. It's normal to sketch the body lines first, to be sure you've got the proportions right. Clothes come later. Or not.
I fold my arms and scowl at him.
Maybe I should have sketched you like that instead.
Well, if you want to, you could always draw me later. So, you're an artist, huh? He just shrugs. What sort of things do you do? Just just sketches?
Tagging.
What's that? Are you like a street artist? Like, what's it called? Spray paint?
You don't know.
I just said that. He reaches out and pinches my arm. What?
Tag.
And runs. What the heck? Where did this come from? I was thinking of, like, tagging a place with spray paint. Oh, dear. This is too cute. Growling, I tear after him as he heads up the stairs. He's got a good head start, but when I reach the upstairs hallway, he's slumped against the wall, breathing hard. Aw, he's all blushy. Are you okay?
Yeah.
See, you shouldn't smoke. It's bad for your lungs.
Whatever. I let you catch up.
Oh, right. I thump him on the shoulder. Tag.
Don't worry. I will have my revenge.
Suddenly, his face falls.
You should go.
What's wrong?
Go away. I'll talk to you later. Just leave me alone for now.
Well, that came to an abrupt end. Alben, don't tell me you're deathly ill as well. What disease runs in the family, man? With the tension in the house calmed for now and dinner uneventfully behind us, we're all hanging around together. It's a little like a slumber party, even though I haven't been to one of those since I turned 13.
The name of the game is I Never. When it's your turn, you must state something that you have never done. Like, I've never ridden an elephant?
The idea is to pick something that you haven't done, but that you think the rest of us have. So, probably no elephants.
Usually this is a drinking game, but as some of you don't care for alcohol, that's what the chocolate peanuts are for.
Each of us has a small bowl containing 6 chocolate-covered peanuts.
If you have done what the speaker never has, eat a peanut.
And if you're not sure it counts, it counts.
Whoever runs out first loses. Which will probably be you. Perhaps. However...
He holds up a finger in the air dramatically.
I have never cheated on a lover.
Whoops.
I may have had more than one at the same time, but everyone involved was aware of the situation and the rules. That's not cheating.
Everyone was... What has Lynn's been up to? There's a moment of silence while everyone looks at each other. Finally, Alben shrugs and takes a peanut. Alben.
There was this girl. We went out a couple of times, nothing serious, then she got all crazy. She started telling people what I was going to do, like it was her decision without even asking me. She picked fights and then came running to me to protect her. So I made it very clear that I was not her property. In public. With her best friend.
How should Janet respond to this information? Well, last time when we stayed quiet, that was the end of it. So we should probably scold him. That's awful. If you were mad at her, you should have just broken up with her honestly.
Yeah, well, it made me feel better. I do stupid things sometimes.
It's hard to be mad at someone when they admit they're an idiot. How frustrating. Makes me mad.
So I suppose it's my turn. Well, I have never snogged a man.
What is snogged? Alben and Lynn stare at me. Nathaniel covers a smile with his hand.
It's, you know, kissing. With tongues.
Oh. Oh! What a funny word. Well, then I've never done that either. With a grandiose wrist flourish, Linz takes a peanut from his bowl. No one looks terribly surprised, although Bradley rolls his eyes a bit.
You next.
Very well. I have never driven a motor vehicle. Everyone else except Raphael reaches for a peanut. Excuse me. I don't have a car, but I took driver's ed, so that means me as well.
Why not? Some people find cars interesting in themselves, but I never did. If I need to go somewhere, I can get someone to drive me. Usually. You've been quiet, Bradley. Your turn. I'm not sure what's safe to ask.
Safe?
Well, you're a...
He cuts off and shakes his head.
I've never worn makeup.
Well, that's me then. Linz, Alben, and Raphael reach for peanuts as well, but not Nathaniel. I suppose the rest of them have dressed up for Halloween. So, my turn. What should Janet say she's never done? I don't think there's anything with Alben with that. So, broken a bone? I've never broken a bone. Looking around, I see Bradley, Alben, and Linz taking peanuts. Any interesting stories?
Well, there was this kind of steep hill in the neighborhood. We used to ride our bikes down it and see how fast we could go. Then I had this idea about making a ramp at the bottom to see if I could take off. And it worked. Kind of. Except I didn't make anything to land on.
What a boy. How about you?
I fell down some stairs. I caught myself badly. Distal radius fracture.
Which means a broken wrist. I wonder if he knows I know that, or if he just doesn't care if people understand what he says. Alben? He shakes his head.
Nothing interesting. So, that leaves me.
There is a long pause while his eyes flicker back and forth.
I have never...
We wait for it.
Worn pink socks.
Everyone stares at him.
What? I haven't.
I'm not absolutely certain whether I have or not. I would never pick them out for myself, but my parents probably put me in something pink as a baby. I assume I'll be the only one, but as I take my peanut, I notice that someone else is as well. Bradley?
I'm not so good at doing laundry.
That's the end of the first round, then. Linz and Alben are tied for last, with each having only 2 peanuts left. Nathaniel hasn't taken any peanuts at all. Alben and Linz exchange glances.
I have never spray painted my initials on the outer wall of a government building.
See, tagging! Isn't this tagging? Am I crazy? Alben takes a peanut.
I have never worn glasses.
Linz inclines his head and reaches for a candy. To my surprise, Nathaniel does as well. Do you have contacts?
No. When I was small, I used to borrow my father's reading glasses.
Oops. How cute! Linz and Alben are tied, each with 1 peanut remaining.
And so it falls to you to cast the deciding vote.
Perhaps.
However, I have never drunk absinthe.
Bradley looks confused as Linz and Alben sigh in unison and then turn on him.
Oh. No one's done that. Your turn. I have never ridden a horse.
Neither have I. I don't hate horses, but I've never found them as exciting as some girls do. Nathaniel takes a peanut, no surprise. So does Raphael. And so does Alben, losing the game. I didn't think you were the horsey type.
It wasn't my idea.
He stands up abruptly, kicking over the empty peanut dish.
As a sister's. This is a stupid game anyway.
Does that make you stupid for playing it? Oh, hey, we actually reacted to that instead of letting him stomp off. Interesting. We care. It's because we care, Alben. Beautiful man.
Janet, don't.
I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to Alben. I jab my finger in the latter's direction. J'accuse! You pick that up. Nathaniel frowns in concern, and Raphael shrinks against Linz's arm. How is Raphael shrinking against Linz's arm? They are, like, way across the table from each other. As Alben bends over to pick up the peanut dish he kicked.
Whatever.
I hop to my feet as well and collect the rest of the dishes, putting Alben's on top. Thanks. He stares at me without speaking and then walks away. Well, the rest of us will clean up. I think that's the end of our evening.